Peter Habeler was born on July 22, 1942, in the town of Zell am See, in the Austrian Alps. Surrounded by some of the most stunning and rugged mountain landscapes in the world, it was no surprise that Habeler developed a deep connection to the mountains from a young age. His early life in Austria, in close proximity to the Alps, would shape his future and ignite his passion for mountaineering. Growing up in the Alpine region, Habeler began skiing and hiking as a child, spending much of his time exploring the nearby hills and valleys. His affinity for the mountains blossomed when, as a teenager, he started to explore climbing. With the encouragement of local mountaineers and outdoor enthusiasts, he quickly became fascinated with the challenge and the thrill of scaling steep peaks. Habeler's first major mountaineering experience came in his late teens, when he participated in a climbing expedition in the Alps. The experience solidified his love for mountaineering and served as a stepping stone for his future career. Throughout the early years of his climbing career, Habeler was largely self-taught, relying on the knowledge he gained from books, climbing partners, and his own trials and errors. His early climbs were in the Alps, where he honed his technical skills in alpine climbing, perfecting the delicate art of rock, ice, and mixed climbing. These early experiences proved to be pivotal, laying the groundwork for his legendary career as one of the greatest mountaineers in history. Career peak: the conquest of Everest and breaking boundaries. Peter Habeler's career took off in the 1960s and 1970s as he began to build a reputation as one of the top climbers in the world. His success on various peaks across the Alps and other mountain ranges earned him recognition in the mountaineering community. However, it was his partnership with fellow Austrian mountaineer Reinhold Messner that would propel him to global fame and solidify his place in the history of mountaineering. In 1978, Habeler and Messner achieved one of the most remarkable feats in the history of mountaineering when they became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. At the time, Everest was considered an unconquerable peak without the use of supplemental oxygen, as the lack of oxygen at such high altitudes posed a significant danger to climbers. The use of supplemental oxygen had become a standard practice for mountaineers attempting the peak, as the low atmospheric pressure at such heights makes breathing difficult and increases the risk of altitude sickness. Despite the dangers, Habeler and Messner were determined to attempt the summit without supplemental oxygen. Their historic achievement on May 8, 1978, made headlines worldwide and marked a turning point in the history of high-altitude mountaineering. The climb was a remarkable display of physical endurance, mental resilience, and technical skill. Habeler, who was in peak physical condition, played an integral role in the success of the expedition. His ability to push his limits and endure the hardships of the climb was crucial to the pair's success. The ascent of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen shattered the prevailing belief that it was impossible to summit the world's highest peak without additional oxygen. Habeler and Messner's feat opened the door for future climbers to attempt similar ascents without relying on external oxygen, and fundamentally changed the way mountaineers approached high-altitude climbs. Habeler's success did not end with his Everest ascent. Over the following years, he continued to achieve impressive feats, climbing several of the world's highest peaks. His experience on Everest and his fearless approach to climbing set him apart as one of the greatest mountaineers of his era. Habeler made numerous first ascents of challenging peaks, including several in the Himalayas, and became known for his refusal to shy away from difficult and dangerous climbs. His technical climbing abilities and high-altitude expertise made him one of the most sought-after climbing partners in the world. In addition to his achievements in the Himalayas, Habeler was also known for his work in the European Alps, where he completed a number of difficult and innovative climbs. His passion for the mountains remained undiminished, and he continued to seek out new challenges throughout his career. Main achievements: the legacy of a climbing pioneer. Peter Habeler's career is defined by his groundbreaking accomplishments, his extraordinary technical abilities, and his commitment to advancing the sport of mountaineering. His main achievements are numerous and include the following: First ascent of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen 1978. Habeler's most famous achievement came when he and Reinhold Messner became the first climbers to reach the summit of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. This groundbreaking ascent changed the way mountaineers approached high-altitude climbs and remains one of the most significant milestones in the history of mountaineering. Record-breaking climbs in the Himalayas. In addition to his Everest ascent, Habeler achieved numerous other significant climbs in the Himalayas, including successful summits of peaks such as Lhotse, Makalu, and Cho Oyu. These climbs further cemented his reputation as one of the top high-altitude climbers of his time. Alpine climbs and first ascents in Europe. Habeler was also known for his achievements in the European Alps. He completed several challenging and first ascents in the region, demonstrating his prowess in alpine climbing and his ability to navigate complex rock and ice terrain. Endurance and stamina in extreme conditions. One of Habeler's defining characteristics was his ability to endure extreme conditions. His ability to climb without supplemental oxygen at such high altitudes was a testament to his physical and mental stamina. He was known for his calm demeanor in the face of adversity and his ability to think clearly and make decisions under pressure. Pioneering attitude toward climbing. Habeler was a pioneer in the mountaineering world, constantly pushing the boundaries of what was possible in the sport. His willingness to take on seemingly impossible challenges and his innovative approach to climbing inspire generations of climbers to think outside the box and challenge conventional norms. Final years, a legacy of mentorship and adventure. In the years following his peak achievements, Peter Habeler gradually transitioned away from high-altitude expeditions and focused on sharing his knowledge and experience with the next generation of climbers. Although he continued to climb throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Habeler's focus shifted toward mentoring young climbers and inspiring others to pursue their own mountaineering goals. Habeler also became involved in various environmental and conservation efforts, advocating for the preservation of the world's mountain ecosystems and the protection of the natural beauty of the Himalayas. He spoke out about the environmental impact of mountaineering and worked to raise awareness about the challenges facing mountain environments to climate change and overexploitation by climbers. His passion for the mountains extended beyond climbing, and he became a vocal advocate for the responsible and sustainable practice of mountaineering. In addition to his work as a mentor and environmental advocate, Habeler continued to be involved in climbing expeditions, albeit at a less competitive level. He led expeditions to other mountain ranges, sharing his vast expertise with aspiring climbers and helping them to achieve their own summits. Habeler also wrote books about his experiences, providing insights into the world of high-altitude climbing and the challenges he faced in his illustrious career. In recent years, Peter Habeler has remained a respected figure in the mountaineering world, often invited to speak at events, participate in climbing festivals, and attend mountaineering summits. He continues to inspire climbers with his incredible story and legacy. Though he no longer tackles the world's highest peaks as he once did, his influence in the sport is felt by mountaineers around the globe. As of today, Peter Habeler is celebrated as one of the greatest mountaineers of all time, remembered for his groundbreaking accomplishments and his dedication to the sport. His contributions to mountaineering, both as an athlete and as a mentor, have shaped the modern era of the sport, and his legacy continues to inspire climbers and adventurers worldwide.